Good afternoon. Currently just got back from getting groceries. We are experiencing a heat wave. Right now it is 31 degrees outside, 28 in here. Yeah. No AC in here, and that's fine. I'm not really hanging out here during the day a whole lot because it's too hot. The fridge is having some issues, just staying cold. Didn't help that when I was away on vacation, I wasn't paying attention to how low my propane tank is. The one went empty and the fridge check light came on and it wasn't keeping cold. So that was fun, trying to get that cold again several days later during a heat wave. Anyway, it seems to be working okay now. It is, however, warm enough that the glue from the mirror that used to be in this cupboard, just like over here and over here, the glue just completely came undone. I'm really lucky that it didn't just fall out and smash on me when I opened it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to glue that back in there. Also, if you've been around for a while, you may have heard me talking about having issues with my generator remote working properly. So I'm certain that the battery is just getting low. I went to the dollar store, it's the only place I know where to get them, and found the same type of battery. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick swap out, and fingers crossed that that is the problem and this thing is going to work properly now. Let's test her out. So before, when I was using this, for some reason, and this is what makes me wonder if it really was the battery, the generator would start no problem. The issue I had was shutting it off. That seemed to like just not work so well. So we'll see. On. Okay, generator started no problem. Alright, now to try the off button. Before, this was being really touchy. I had to push it really hard and really aim at the generator. So I'm actually going to step away and hit it kind of through the wall here and see if it works. Yep, right away. Well, okay. Problem solved. I guess it really was the battery. But I mean, what do I expect, really? I've been running this remote off of that same battery for 5 years, so simple fix was like $1.25. Temperature update, currently 27 outside, 27 in here. Probably by this evening it will cool down to like 23, 22 degrees Celsius, so it's really not that bad. I was just here thinking that if I really wanted to, I could take all these mirrors out and replace them with pictures, you know, like nice sunset pictures, or this happens to be a painting from Cuba. But then I really got thinking about it, and they put these mirrors in here for a reason. Almost every old RV you see has mirrors like this in most of the cupboard doors, and they do that because it helps make the space feel bigger. If I took all these mirrors out and I put pictures, you know, sunset pictures, or just pictures in general there instead, I guarantee you this space would feel smaller than it is. So yeah, I'm not certain about that yet. I don't want the space to feel smaller because it's already small. Like I kind of like that it does give it more of a slightly spacious feel. Alright, well I have the mirror set back in here. What I probably should have done though is went along the edges and cleared all the old hard glue around here off, because it was interesting trying to get it to set in here properly. So anyway, wait for that silicone to dry and then get it back up in the cover. Well, as long as it's not going to rain tomorrow, which right now it's kind of calling for thunder showers, but if it doesn't, gonna be getting gravel delivered in the morning. So I do have to start cleaning up this mess. Good morning. I woke up this morning to the truck delivering a load of gravel. There's still some on the back of the truck. About 17 tons, or maybe that's what the truck weighed with the gravel on it. But yeah, the tractor is going to level this out first and then see where we're at. Dump the rest off the back of that truck. It's hard to see, but there's actually quite a dip here on this side. So that's probably gonna take the majority of the gravel, I would presume. If you start filling holes, it can take a lot of gravel. So I'm gonna be staying on this side of that big stump sticking out there because the tent shed will be pretty much right to the edge of that, if I did my measurements properly. And here's the tractor, so I will get back with you guys shortly. Okay, that's what it's looking like all leveled out. The tractor just dumped that load that you saw and we leveled it out, and then what was left in the back of the truck we kind of dumped over here where it was just sloping really bad. I think it was because last year or the year before, whenever it was that we brought in more gravel, it just kind of ran a little thin over on that edge. So yeah, filled in that space a little better, and that's what we're left with. It's looking good. I hope I did my measurements right. My 10 by 20 should fit in here, and it should actually come out to about here because my tape measure only came to about 16.5 feet. So hereabouts. Yeah, so all down this driveway, all this in here under the trailer. And at one point there were trees from this tree to this pine tree, and all this was treed in, if you remember. And so we ended up cutting out the trees in this little section here and expanding it to get better solar in the winter, and also it gives so much more parking. But all of this, I'm gonna guess, was probably at least 15 loads of gravel, and at the time it was about $100 a load. So I'm not sure what the price of gravel is now. I'll find out when I get the bill for this load, but yeah, so it's looking good. I'm happy with it. Also, when I get the tent shed set up over here, I'm going to be moving everything that's in that little one into it, and obviously that's got to go out. It's just rotten pallets, but I do plan on putting pallets in the tent shed to stack the wood on. Okay, mirror's back in, cabinet is back on, good as new. That was an easy fix. Guys, let me tell you, I'm glad there's a little bit of a breeze right now. It's about 7:30 at night, 28 degrees Celsius. I just got home from work about maybe an hour ago. And yeah, it was 30 something today, feels like 40. No idea what that is in Fahrenheit, but probably 100. It's warm. One good thing about the evening is that it starts to cool down a bit. Last night it was 17 degrees Celsius overnight, so it was sleepable. It wasn't bad at all. So this evening, you know, it'll start to just get cooler and cooler. I think I'm going to actually rake this little area here a little bit better. I just want to make sure it's nice and level. Today I purchased a couple tarps on my lunch break. So I want to lay the tarps down, put the shed on top of that. That way no moisture can come up through the bottom, the floor of the shed, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to get started. so this isn't exact, but this is approximately how big the tent shed is going to be. Those are two 10 by 12 tarps. I did overlap them up there by about 2 feet. And the reason I got 2 tarps is because either I couldn't find a 10 by 20 or there was one there and it was just really expensive, so this was the cheaper option. But yeah, so it's going to come out quite a ways, just to the edge of that pallet bar there, and probably have to just put some gravel in the corner. I just kind of wanted to get an idea, but this is approximately how big it is going to be. I am going to leave the tarps there for now though, because it would be a giant pain to fold those up and put them away. So I have some tent pegs, probably just peg them down in a few spots and leave it there until we get the tent shed put up. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of room. Looking forward to having a little space to put some things in. I'm going to get some heavy-duty Gorilla Tape or something to go across this lip, because that is an accident waiting to happen. Oh man, I've had this thing for like 20 seconds and a bird was like, I just ate some blackberries. Where am I going to use the bathroom? Oh, that looks like the perfect spot. Seriously, what even is that? That looked like squid ink, not anything that a bird would have eaten. And there we go, just a real quick job putting the tent pegs in. I wasn't too fussy about it because I might have to move this. I'm just kind of keeping it here so it doesn't blow away at this point. You know you're truly adulting when you get super excited about a new shed. I'm so stoked to be able to stand up in this thing. I really don't think you have any idea. Temperature update, it is 25 degrees outside, 27 degrees in here, and it is 11:30 at night. One way I plan to beat the heat is I have this little USB fan just kind of up here on a nail or something on the wall, and it's got a cord. I plan on hooking it up to this little battery pack here, and it's pretty much pointing directly at the bed, so that should help. There we go. It's not very loud. It's just a small fan. It doesn't give off a lot of air, but it's something. It's something blowing a little bit of cold air, which is better than nothing. I thought it was Hilbert for a second, but it's an American woodcock. Must be looking for grubs. Yeah, I've been avoiding doing dishes because I just don't feel like heating up water to, yeah, it's too hot. Wow, okay, it is, I would say, several days later, and I forgot to give you guys an update, but the tent shed is up. 20 by 10? 10 by 20? Whatever you want to call it. So all that's really left to do at this point is just go along all these little edges here. And I'm just going to put some of this crushed rock up over the edges, because really all that's going to happen is rainwater is going to pool here and you're just going to get a bunch of like green slimy algae. So throwing some rock up over this will also help like tighten down the material. So that'll be good. I have to go along the sides and the back. But let me tell you, I am thrilled to have this. It is huge compared to what I was working with before. And I'm gonna warn you, it's a mess in here. I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm kind of just storing for the meantime. It has to be taken out of here, but anyway, I'll just give you a rough idea. Also, really neat light I got on Amazon, comes with a remote. Super bright, that's all I'm gonna really need in here for lighting, so that's pretty awesome. But yeah, just a lot of stuff being stored right now until it gets moved. Super pumped. I can fully stand in here. There's like, oh geez, let me show you. Can you get an idea of how much room I have? I'm 5'9", So I would say this is at least 8 feet high. I don't know. Anyhow, ignore the mess. Like I said, this will all be sorted and put away, and then I'll be piling wood in the back. The Sriracha scooter will be stored in here, and I'm not sure what else yet. All that stuff at the very back will be put into kind of a big Rubbermaid. This thing over here, I just kind of moved it off to the side when we brought gravel in because it was in the way. But a lot of that stuff, that just loose, messy looking stuff, will be stored in this here, and I'll probably actually keep this right inside that building because I'll have the room for it. And an update on the other 6x6 tent shed. Shoved that back in there where the hammock was. I think I said before, I just don't really use that hammock a whole lot. So right now it's being used for storage. Just to get through this forest here. Everything is just being put in totes. And yeah, in there it'll stay dry and everything. Just have a little tarp thrown over it. Obviously, I'll be zipping this door closed and all that before the winter, but it's just a spot for storage, really. Like, I mean, there's no storage here, so that's the spot for storage for things that are just not being used right now, but you're holding on to, right? Yeah, so that light from Amazon, I'm so impressed with it. There's the solar panel. I'm actually going to put a link in the description. I don't always do that, and there's no affiliation, it's not sponsored, whatever, but I just think it's such a great light, and it has so many options. You can turn it on, off, auto mode, so it just comes on when it's dark. You got your white light, your yellow light, a mixture of the two, kind of an in-between, bright, whoops, bright, dim, 3-hour timer, 5-hour timer, 8-hour timer. It comes with 2 of these. Not really sure why. Maybe if you lose one, break one, whatever. It's very light and just feels kind of cheap, but I mean, does the job. Let's shut that off. Yeah, love that light, I gotta say.